This episode is brought to you by Muntins Malts, a company that is passionate about providing premium malts to brewers worldwide. For over a century, Muntins has been a leading supplier of brewing and distilling malts, offering the finest British malted barley on the market. You can experience the difference Muntins offers by joining a recipe receiving tier of our Trub Club, because every kit that ships out now includes premium Muntins malt. You know, we've known the Muntins crew for a long time, and I can tell you, friend, you're going to love brewing with their grains. Ask your local supply shop to carry Muntins malts, or homebrewers can join our Trub Club at homebrewhappyhour.com/club, be a part of the community, and come brew with us. Thank you, Muntins, for supporting our efforts and homebrewers worldwide. Today's show is brought to you by hopsdirect.com. Grown in the esteemed Yakima Valley on the Pewterball family farm, hopsdirect.com offers the widest variety of hops available online at incredibly competitive pricing. It's simple. They grow hops, they sell hops, and they ship hops straight from their family-owned farm to your doorstep. Producing the highest quality hops is hopsdirect.com's passion, and they're proud to be an independent grower in the craft beer industry. Go to hopsdirect.com right now and get what you need to make your brew day better. That's hopsdirect.com. Today's show is brought to you by Imperial Yeast. You hear us gushing over Imperial Yeast all the time, and that's because their yeast performs for us in every batch that we brew. Imperial Yeast is adored by commercial breweries and home brewers alike. Their pitch-right pouches are jam-packed with over 200 billion fresh yeast cells, guaranteed to deliver flawless, fast fermentations every time. Imperial Yeast strains are grown by a team of pro brewers and home brewers who live to help other brewers learn more and ferment better. Join any recipe receiving tier of our Trub Club and get a free upgrade to premium Imperial Yeast with every recipe kit that ships out to you. Learn more at homebrewhappyhour.com/club and come brew with us.
Entertaining shows with content that spreads information and sparks discourse throughout the community. This is the Pearl Media Network.
Homebrew HQ and the Great American Beer Festival, an interview with Julia Herz from the American Homebrewers Association. This is Homebrew Happy Hour, episode 403. Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Homebrew Happy Hour. This is the show where we supply the answers to your homebrewing questions and discuss all things related to craft beer. And if you, my friend, have a question you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, you could go to homebrewhappyhour.com. You could email Joshua at homebrewhappyhour.com. But no, what you're going to do is you're going to call it in, leave a voicemail to 325-305-6107. And when I use your voicemail on a future episode, and I likely will because I'm desperate, when I use it, you get yourself a $25 gift card to kegconnection.com. It doesn't get much better than that, except, well, I'm one of your hosts, Joshua Stubing, and how it gets better is I'm so happy to welcome our guest. It is Julia Herz. I wrote down stuff for you. Actually, I just wrote down one sentence for you. I am so ashamed. I'm sorry. She is the executive director for the American Homebrewers Association. Julia, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you right back. There's no shame in a wonderful introduction. Appreciate being here, and hello, fellow brewers.
You just have so much more accolades, and I just put executive director. I apologize. That is bush league, and I'll edit some better. I'll have AI write me this novel thing that'll compliment you, and that's what I do for me. And when I'm giving people press stuff and all that, no one's taking me up on it. But either way, I know your time is valuable, and mainly, guys, it's valuable because I imagine everyone over at the Brewers Association is terribly busy because in a little bit more than a week for attendees, it is Great American Beer Festival 2024. We're all going to congregate in Denver. We're going to enjoy craft beer, and homebrewers have a chance to have access to buy another ticket, right, from Great American Beer Festival to Homebrew HQ, and we'll get into that. It's a whole slew of stuff specifically designed for homebrewers in mind, because it's the evolving, again, we'll get into it, the evolving nature of HomebrewCon and all that jazz. But
Sure.
before we get into that, I'd like to actually discuss your history as a home brewer, because you've been in the scene a very long time, and I've seen you around at the conferences and stuff. And so let's talk about your history as a home brewer, and then how you even got started working with the BA and American Homebrewers Association.
Excellent, awesome, wonderful. And yeah, I've brewed a batch or two, like many of you have, and I still love and do home brewing actively, and it's an ongoing, evolving hobby. I've been home brewing for many, many years. I've made mead, cider too. Lately, I'm trying to perfect the perfect English bitter, which I call extra special beautiful as a style, as opposed to extra special bitter, because as home brewers, we can just rename styles if we want. And yeah, I've been with the American Homebrewers Association for 3 years, coming up on 3 years as your executive director. We have tens of thousands of members, incredible history as an organization. It's been around since 1978. You mentioned the BA or Brewers Association. That's the parent organization to the American Homebrewers Association. And the Great American Beer Festival that we'll talk about is a 1-year pit stop for the AHA's annual member gathering. And so this year in Denver, Colorado, we are having AHA at GABF, the Great American Beer Festival. Inside the hall will be Homebrew HQ. And then there's going to be a lot of activations around the convention center and in town. And so I just can't wait to interface with fellow homebrewers, and I continue to learn every time someone gives me a homebrew or every time I give somebody one of my homebrews.
Are you bringing any of yours to Homebrew
Yeah,
HQ?
absolutely. So in the hall, well, I'll have some mead to serve at the unofficially to serve at the headline session. I will have I'm going to be serving at club night as well. Some homebrew, my extra special beautiful that I brewed with fellow AHA members and some of the BA staff that I work with. And then in the hall, I'll be doing a demonstration beer every night. We will be doing live brewing literally in the hall with like kind of a barrier because it's going to be hot liquid. One of the nights I'll be doing the Learn to Homebrew Day 2024 recipe with that we just collaborated with Maltose Falcons, Rick Morales, the president, and Drew Beecham of Maltose Falcons. They created a West Coast IPA, and we hope everybody brews that on November 2nd during Learn to Homebrew Day. So I'll demo brew that in the hall. And I will also be demo brewing the Extra Special Beautiful that I also will have to serve and taste.
That's incredible. Maltose, remind me, are they the oldest homebrew club in the country? Are they one of them?
I mean, they claim, and I kind of back it. It's a little dangerous because it's not like I can document that who has and hasn't been tracking.
Sure.
And we haven't formally tracked, but 50 years old, probably the most established, longest running homebrew club in the world, I would say. And yeah, they're out of California. Maltose Falcon continues to have game. I've interfaced with them at the Northern California Homebrew Fest, Southern California Homebrew Fest. They are amazing, and they are very active and continue to turn many homebrewers onto homebrewing today, and many of them have gone pro too.
Yeah, it is an impressive club. I've had the chance to meet. They frequently were at club nights. I can't think of a homebrew con I went to that they weren't represented at a club night. It may have been a while. And club nights too get very hazy for myself personally. I don't want to speak for anyone else. I enjoy those. The dressing up, the not remembering what I am doing, all that fun stuff of club night.
Well, you want to kind of try to remember the fun. And I will say this year, it's not Homebrew Con, it's AHA GABF. That gives us a chance to reassess the business model for any conference or convention these days, since COVID is always needing to be looked at. We need a conference that's way less expensive to host and a conference or a gathering that's way less expensive to attend. So we weren't able to pull that out of our hat easily. That's something that takes strategic planning and time. So this year, at least having AHA members gather at GABF with our own events, but at least, and we have those landing spots, and we do have a presence in the hall because I'm super excited to promote homebrewing at the country's biggest ticketed, beer festival. On top of that, we did bring some things back, like the headline session, like club night, but it's just very different format for any of the activations or the events that you would go to. There's no normal year in and year out for events. So roll with it, flow with it, and everyone will find fun. And club night will be at Denver Beer Co. the Wednesday night before GABF, October 9th. And they are rolling out the red carpet. They open their production facility. They don't normally do tours of that area. And they are, AHA members. This is an AHA member only club night. and we're gonna party. We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, we're hoping to make it there. We're driving from Central Texas to Denver. We're going to leave early Wednesday. It's like a 13-hour drive, give or take. I have to pee a lot, so maybe a 13-and-a-half-hour drive. But we're hoping to make it to club night.
Get up early. Please join us 6 to 9 on the 9th. Get your tickets in advance, or you can buy them at the door, but you got to be ready to show your AHA membership is active. We'll have a team there to help you navigate, getting your membership card or whatever. But I hope you come check it out. It'd be great to see you on Wednesday.
And Julia, remind me not to throw like a marketing spin on this, because I'm sure you've heard the goods and the bads from people and feedback. But remind me, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is more or less almost a throwback, because wasn't GABF and Homebrew Con originally together when GABF was formed? Is that what it was? Like in the 80s?
Yes, so the American Homebrewers Association in 1982, and we've been around since 1978, hosted the first invited festival portion, and that was the beginnings of the Pro Brewer turned into Great American Beer Fest. So yeah, GABF was an add-on to the AHA annual conference in 1982.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just it's wild. Again, obviously COVID is the thing that threw a wrench in most people's lives that we can all connect to, but it's just wild, the trajectory, and it kind of came full circle. It's like they're back together, and like you said, you're not trying to hide anything. Y'all have to evaluate what to do with the money that y'all have, the limited money. Homebrewing, I don't want to get down Debbie Downer or depressive on this episode, but the hobby, we're trying to not revitalize it, keep it going, and maybe give it a bump. But yeah, the hobby's sort of slowing down, and so I guess this will be a good way for y'all to gauge engagement with the hobby and all that. And they're still, like you said, excited to show it to all these craft beer enthusiasts, because there's tens of thousands of people for sure who go to Great American Beer Festival every year, correct?
Yeah, tens of thousands, and the majority of pioneer craft brewers at least started as homebrewers. Many of them over their careers, and some still today, have been AHA members. So it's a coming home. I'm proud to have found this, so we kept the momentum going. We wanted a great venue for the National Homebrew Competition Awards. We had almost 4,000 entries this year, 9 first-round locations that the AHA hosted in the spring, where we're judging thousands of entries in 9 first-round locations, and then we host the awards event. So basically, it's and then there's a final round judging too that I attended in San Diego. So it's 11 events, and so to land in Denver at the AHA's, at GABF, and have the awards announced in the hall, which I'll be proud to personally be your announcer on Thursday of GABF, and they will be also rebroadcast that night through Brewing Network. That's a big deal. We're putting National Homebrew Competition winners on the biggest pro brewer, more judges in the room or in the hall, and media than any other beer event on the planet Earth. So what a great 1 year. If anyone's not psyched about that, then okay. I'm sorry if that's not pleasing, your fancy, but I think we've done NHC right for this year. We executed first round, and we've got these beautiful, wonderful awards that I am excited to announce who won. And the quality of what we judged in those 9 first rounds and at final round is incredible. And I can't wait to celebrate that. And yeah, maybe in 2025, we are fortunate enough, we're still in planning, to be able to bring AHA members back to a dedicated standalone, our own conference and event and NHC awards in a different portion of the country. But stay tuned. We need a chance to certainly figure out how we can execute that and when we would execute that. And that still is unfolding.
Do you, for NHC, and I never knew this, if this was true for HomebrewCon or not, the format rather, do you let people know ahead of time if they're even placed? Or, because obviously you don't have to be present to win. I mean, it's great though to be there for the photos and the trophy and all that, but do the top 3 or any top whatever have a general idea of, hey, you want to be there because you placed?
NHC award entrants are in part of the BAP system, and we're judging now, actually digital judging, which is amazing. So you have access to as much as we will release to you throughout the process. I hope to see as many of the winners on stage in Denver on Thursday night inside the GABF hall. And we also reimburse their GABF ticket if winners come and end up on stage.
Hey.
So we have thought of that and accounted for that. but you need to know if you won after the awards when your name is announced.
Right, for sure. No, I know. I'm a sucker for spoilers. That's all. And also, though, I've never won. I make up competitions and give myself trophies, and then I'm a winner. My office is lined. They're not that expensive.
I love it, Josh. You're Mr. Positivity. I will tell you, in my career, when I didn't work for the AHA or the BA, I won. I medaled in Old Ale at the National Homebrew Competition with a silver medal. And I wrote that down. That is like a career homebrewing highlight to bag a medal. And I went through shipping my entries to first round, right? And then getting notified that I had to ship my entries to final round. So you are right that entrants know if they had to go to final round, but I was amazed because it's one of the hardest categories. My husband and I were very pleased. And so I kind of really, I get the process. We as homebrewers, we enter competitions to get feedback and to also medal. And when you medal, it's a total bonus. And when you medal in the NHC, you're literally being said by the judges, you make the best example of that style if you won gold in the world.
It's a big deal. No, it is a big deal. I've had a chance to meet with, throughout the process of having this podcast. This is episode 403. I've been in the industry for a very long time. People are exceptionally proud to show those medals. We have our own in-house competition. I say in-house. We host a Kolsch Cup and we host an alt beer competition, and people are proud of that, sure. But like the NHC, that's definitely what people are going for. And then are you also doing a Homebrewer of the Year at this year's GABF?
Yeah, we have all the standard national recognition awards. Some have evolved. We have a new one, AHA Member Deal of the Year Award, which I'm excited to announce. AHA members get access to almost 2,000 plus discounts, which is incredible and pays for the membership itself. We will, be doing Homebrewer of the Year Award, Homebrew Club of the Year Award, Ninkazi Sam Adams Award. All the standard big awards are there in most of what you're used to seeing.
I also, rewinding a little, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask how your personal brewing has evolved. I know, again, I'm spoiled to have been surrounded by the people in these companies that provide us with incredible ingredients and equipment. But like my pop and I started at Strat Brewing, partial mash actually, and then moved up to like a cooler system. And now we brew on electric all-in-one because it just fits our needs. How was your brewing evolution from batch one to batch infinity, whatever you're on right now?
Yeah, you totally get it. And I love that you're brewing with your dad because a lot of us got into it because of family members that taught us. I try to be open-minded and brew on all levels. I'll brew stovetop. I'll brew on my patio with my 3-vessel gravity-fed propane system. I'll brew in my garage with an all-electric brew-in-one. And I will say brew in the bag is what changed my game the most, because any of those systems that I just mentioned, I can still use brew in a bag to kind of take out equipment or shorten steps. So it's evolved. I certainly love doing the brew day in the garage with the all-in-one electric. It's gotten much more affordable. Those systems are amazing no matter which producer you're working with. And, another evolution for homebrewers is a lot of us are fermenting in stainless nowadays, not glass carboys. I love glass carboys. You can see it, you kind of get the visual of what's going on. You can still have technology help you control fermentation within that glass carboy if you invest in that. But fermenting in stainless is really, I think, also helped change my game. More controlled fermentation temperatures and gives me the ability to more confidently brew lagers. Also, not as much transfer to secondary manually from that carboy. It's more just dumping off the yeast. So those are the newer things that have really helped me and made my brew days a little bit quicker too.
Yeah, I'll tell you, pressure fermentation is what changed our whole life. I mean, I'm in the Austin area. Our headquarters for our company is a little further north central, but the Austin area, it's pretty hot. It gets hot here. We have summer, we have mild summer, then we have 2 weeks of winter, and then it's back to summer. And so if I want to do certain styles, like I love Kolsch and I love all those hybrid ales, or if I want to do a lager, I don't necessarily have the setup yet at my personal home for glycol and all that, but pressure fermentation, game changer. And pretty accessible without breaking the bank. That's been my favorite thing as a home brewer, as in 2024 specifically, the best time ever to be a home brewer, because there's solutions for every level and there's solutions for every budget.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned the changes and evolutions of home brewing, and I would say that it's poised for a whole nother phase of regrowth. Fault me or not, but I am a glass is half full, not glasses half empty. We don't have to build the infrastructure today. Yes, I know many homebrew shops that are brick and mortar that are in person are having a harder time, and ones you've known about for many years. Some of them are closing. We're talking constantly to the retail side. But if you're a home brewer on the flip side or AHA member, you can get what you need, right? You can order it. You can find the ingredients and the equipment. In the early days when homebrew was even, home brewing was booming more per se, things weren't as advanced or easy to get. So to me, it's all about just flexing our muscle to inspire the new and next gen. Also tap into the fact that we as homebrewers have equipment not just to brew beer, but we can brew all sorts of beyond beer. Everything from mead, cider, kombucha, grape wine, everything, NA beer, you know it. And then we have equipment to do things like canning, right? We can preserve our fruit from the fall harvest. We can make with our equipment, and we just need to get, proficient in it. Food fermentation. We can make cheese with the Michelin bags, the same bags, as long as they're clean, that we're using for brew in a bag. So I think talking up home brewers and getting the more advanced and established ones, we're a curmudgeonly lot. We like to save our money too, and I'm one of those, and I certainly recognize that. But hey, y'all, let's keep mentoring the next gen. And then, you've got new technology like cold side fermentation kits, right? More Beer just came out with the flash brewing kit. So if we want to get somebody to be able to brew, we don't have to make them boil it anymore or even heat it up. We can buy them an easy kit, very inexpensive for what you get, and get them brewing, and then they'll be off and running and hopefully advance and start to procure their own equipment.
Like I said, yeah, it's the best time ever to get into the hobby, and not even just home brewing beer, like you had already mentioned, cider, kombucha, fermented foods, kimchi, all that stuff. I've found myself open to because it started with a partial mash batch of beer, and then it just opened my eyes to like kombucha is the main one, because I was paying $5 a can, and it's like I could pay less than $5 for a 5-gallon batch that I made myself, and I don't even bottle it. I'm that lazy. I just drink it right from the vessel, like I have a one with the spigot on it. But either way, and I do appreciate there are home brewers on YouTube, brew tubers, some might even call them, like The Brew Show, Apartment Brewer, Gnome, Clawhammer Supply, all those guys that are doing their part too. They're a little bit younger crowd, right? But they're showing like the joys of the hobby. I had mentioned I brew with my pop, community that brewing brings, all of that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily just a one-man thing. It's more enjoyable with a club or with a family member or whatever, making it a day, an afternoon. And I think what the AHA, in my experience with y'all over the last 15 plus years, has been trying to promote community. Like you mentioned at the top of the show, Learn to Homebrew Day. That's a big one for the organization to try to hold people's hands into the hobby and encourage members to get someone to, hey, on November 2nd of this year, get someone and show them how to brew.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, collaborated with Maltose Falcons to get that West Coast IPA recipe that's available now. And anyone can use the AHA resources. Many of them don't require membership either, but for less than $50 a month, you get everything, right? Homebrewersassociation.org will show you all our annual homebrew holidays. And you're right. We still, as kind of the national club, right? We still bring people together annually. We're doing it this year, even though it's not HomebrewCon. We still host the National Homebrew Competition, which allows for members to compete on a level they wouldn't get to compete in any other way. And those annual homebrew holidays don't just include Learn to Homebrew Day in November, but we do Big Brew in May, and we also created Fermentation Day in August. So we have that to acknowledge the Beyond Beer component. So yeah, we do a lot, and we've got it all: reasons, rewards, recipes, and resources on how to brew. And it's the one-stop shop. And I'm just honored to get to be a part of it and the community that you talk about, because I was a member way before I was the executive director.
Yeah, like I said, it's been cool. It's been a very long time since Homebrew Happy Hour has been to Boulder, but we got to do an interview with Steve Parr, 2015, maybe it was 2015, and beautiful campus. Nice guy. Couldn't say nice enough things about him. He's still with y'all, right? He's like I forget
He's
what he's
down the hall.
Yeah,
He's
his,
down
but
the hall.
his photo on the website though, he's like fancy Steve now. I like it. He's very sharp dressed man. You tell him I said that, he'll be like, "Who is that? Who told me that? Who said that?" Super nice guy. Oh, everyone there actually. One of my favorite things. We used to always have a booth at HomebrewCon more times than not since we've been a company. And y'all's events team has always just done a good job of making us feel welcome, and we've always appreciated that. So segueing that into Homebrew HQ at Great American Beer Festival, what can attendees expect? What is the expectations in regards to, you got to get a ticket to GABF. I do know that. And then if you're a member, does that automatically get you into Homebrew HQ? Is there more steps in between the user and the experience?
Sure, fair question. So AHA at GABF for 2024 includes Homebrew HQ or Homebrew headquarters that's in the hall of the convention center during the GABF festival. So to get into Homebrew HQ, you need to have a ticket to the festival. Homebrew HQ, though, is a private member-only area. We will have homebrew, and trust me, legally to get us to serve homebrew, it's a private AHA member area. That's what allows us to do it. So membership will be required to get into that 3,000 square foot area. We'll have everything from Pro-Am tastings, which is amazing because close to 50 pro brewers team up with homebrewers. This has been hosted by the AHA and the BA for years. And those beers that entered into the actual Great American Beer Festival competition that were brewed by a home brewer and a pro brewer will be sampled in the hall. And then those awards will be announced on Saturday. We also have inside Homebrew HQ, Homebrew rock stars are coming out. We've got rock stars coming from California, Virginia, Colorado, different states, and they're bringing their beers. They are personally serving, and it's exhibiting with not just pour and thanks for being online, but they're ready to tell you the story behind the beers and really kind of exhibit and talk about what went into the care and attention. We've got Rusty Burrell from Rusty Barrel Brewing. We've got Stan Hieronymus is serving a Colorado triple. We've got some really good homebrewers that are homebrew rock stars in Homebrew HQ. I'll be in there demonstration brewing, so that's the fun one to kind of look for in the middle. We've got You Be the Judge because we are still, the AHA helped start the Beer Judge Certification Program in 1985. They've been an independent org from the AHA for many decades, but we're partners, right? We're partners in NHC, we're partners in many things. So You Be the Judge is going to allow anyone that's an AHA member that already judges and wants to refresh and calibrate, or that's new to judging that's an AHA member, sit down with an actual GABF or BJCP judge for a 15-minute session in the hall and work their way through brewing, work their way through judging and doing sensory. And then we've got Homebrew Marketplace. They'll be exhibiting inside that area. So, that's kind of a long answer with other stuff happening, but inside the GABF hall every night is Homebrew HQ. And then during the day, if you have bought a GABF session ticket and you're an AHA member, you can get into the AHA events in the convention center. So the day events include a members gathering where I would definitely be sharing more with AHA's members on strategic planning and what the organization is looking at doing to evolve in 2025 and beyond. That member gathering is just for members. We've got headline session where everyone from Sam Calgione to, of Dogfish Head to Shauna Cremier, who's the chair of your AHA committee, and others are on a panel that I'll be moderating. And the theme is Future of Homebrewing. That headline session's just for AHA members on Friday. We also have boot camp for club officers. That happened first year in San Diego, where more than 50 club officers came to San Diego early and joined to a workshop that I moderated to talk about how to help each other for possibilities and opportunities and problems as being a club officer. And so we're doing and gathering that. In the convention center, we'll have BJCP exams again. You want to retest or up your certification. You've got mead, beer, and cider being run by BJCP. So that's a lot. And yeah, you get a ticket to GABF any session and you show your AHA membership card and you can get into any of these extra things that I've just talked about.
And what's wild, you say it's a lot, and I'm not laughing at you like, oh yeah, haha, there's a lot. As in, that's on top of their access to the GABF, which is what, 99% of the attendees, because it's like 40,000 plus people. I don't want to be exaggerating, but I think that y'all's numbers from last year was like 40,000 of just who were signed up to go to just GABF before the meshing of homebrew or AHA and GABF. So there's going to be 40,000 something things or people there as well, just for the craft beer too.
Right, exactly. I mean, we're bringing homebrewers, yes, to not their dedicated event, but you're networking with the creme de la creme.
Right,
The beer
right.
scales will tip heavier to Denver, October 9th through 12th than any other place on the planet. And you're able to get with your AHA people at these dedicated AHA member-only events and be in the hall just with AHA members that hopefully you will feel celebrated and supported. And then also you're going to work your way through the country's most amazing beer festival with hundreds of brewers personally serving you. And you'll also have your NHC awards on Thursday night in the hall. So it's going to be pretty damn cool.
And it's unique for, like, normally in my anecdotal experience, I haven't actually been to Great American Beer Festival since 2013. It was the year.
Oh, you're going to be, and this year's a reimagined GABF. So
Oh, no way.
Many different, there's these hangout areas that are all themed. There's NA, there's gluten-free, there's just so many themed things. Music is a big thing. It's almost like going to a concert with some really good acts that are high level. I mean, you will dance, you will sing, you will drink, you will be merry.
Yeah, I will. That is the truth. The last time we went was the year Conan O'Brien's Triumph the Insult Comet Dog was there. So that whatever year that was. Oh, it was my favorite. It was.
I remember that.
We were working a booth actually at the marketplace selling bottle openers of all things. And drunks didn't want to buy bottle openers. We lived and we learned. But got to follow around Robert Smigel, however he says his last name, doing Triumph. It was the best thing ever. I'm actually maybe going to bring my own Triumph. But no, we're going to be walking around as Homebrew Happy Hour. We're going to be filming there. We hope to see everyone there as well. Julia, where can people, I know tickets are for sale. Are any nights sold out? Is there any way people can't go if they're just now hearing about it and they go, you know what, I live near Denver, or I'm going to fly into Denver and I want to attend? What's the best way for them to get more info and get tickets?
Sure. I'm going to avoid answering any permanent because it's frozen in time. And then as soon as you play.
100%. Yep.
Great American Beer Festival is the website for GABF. And to see the schedule for AHA at GABF, go to homebrewersassociation.org.
And there really is, guys, things every day for homebrewers where I know, again, anecdotally speaking, a lot of people would buy one night tickets because they would just try to hit it up and save money or whatever. But there is something every day for the Homebrew HQ that's unique to that day, and they can learn more, again, by going to the website. I'll put all that in the show notes. If you're watching at youtube.com/Homebrew Happy Hour, all the information's in the video description below. If you're listening here and you don't have a way to see the show notes, go to homebrewhappyhour.com, click on this episode. You'll see all the stuff there. Julia, I think we covered everything. All my little notes I had to bring up, you just you got them through when you were talking about it. It's almost like you do this for a living.
Well, you do. It's like you do it too. Very efficient. Very efficient.
That's right. And I know your time is very precious, and y'all are like not with quite chickens with your heads cut off. You're more organized than that. But it is the 11th hour. I sincerely appreciate your time in doing the interview, and I look forward to meeting you in person in Denver.
Right back at you. Thanks. Really do love the show, and I say that from an honest listenership place. So I'm with you. I'm one of your followers and listeners, and everyone else listening. Like, thanks. Cheers to you all. Happy homebrewing, and come find me and say hi. If you're not in Denver, you will, find me through email. You can also watch the NHC Awards rebroadcast Thursday night. And so, good luck to everyone that entered NHC, and cheers to everyone, no matter what you're doing this October.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That will do it for this episode of the Homebrew Happy Hour. If you have a question you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, you could go to homebrewhappyhour.com and click on that submit a question link at the top of the page, or even better, call it in, leave a voicemail to 325-305-6107. Thank you to our show sponsors like Muntons Malt, premium grains for a better brew day. If you aren't already brewing with Muntons, give them a try by joining our Trub Club at a recipe receiving level. For the best hops available online, give our friends at hopsdirect.com a visit and pick up what you need for your next brew day. Also, get a pack of premium imperial yeast along with delicious recipes from us when you join the Trub Club. Go to patreon.com/homebrew happy hour and come brew with us. On behalf of Todd Burns, James Carlson, and the Pearl Media Network, I'm Joshua Stubing. Thanks for listening.